When you force the other person to act, you are the one in control. It is always better to make your opponent come to you, abandoning his own plans in the process. Lure him with fabulous games, then attack. You hold the cards. The essence of power is the ability to keep the initiative, to get others to react to your moves, to make your enemy respond on your terms. This requires control over yourself, your emotions, your actions and reactions. To be in control, you must be able to slow down and plan your moves. Instead of constantly reacting to events around you, you want to be proactive, planning moves far in advance. If you move too fast, you can only see a few moves ahead, and you cannot see the consequences of your rash actions. This is the danger of being too aggressive, or making too many bold moves. Your aggressive energy will turn against you. You will be constantly reacting to one crisis after another as your enemies band together to bring you down. Do not mistake aggressive action for effective action. Most often, the most effective action is to stay back, keep calm, and let others be frustrated by the traps you lay for them, playing for long-term power rather than quick victory. When you make other people come to you, you suddenly become the one controlling the situation. And the one who has control, has power. Two things must happen to place you in this position. You yourself must learn to master your emotions, and never to be influenced by anger. Meanwhile, however, you must play on people's natural tendency to react angrily when pushed and baited. In the long run, the ability to make others come to you, is a weapon far more powerful than any tool of aggression. All of us have only so much energy, and there is a moment when our energies are at our peak. When you make the other person come to you, he wears himself out, wasting his energy on the trip. And when an opponent comes to you, you are forcing him to operate on your territory. You have your bearings, while he sees nothing familiar. Being on hostile ground will make him nervous, and he will be prone to rush his actions and make mistakes. Manipulation is a dangerous and sensitive game. When you make your opponent come to you, you create the illusion that he is controlling the situation. He does not feel the strings that pull him. The great 19th century robber baron Daniel Drew was a master at playing the stock market. When he wanted a particular stock to be bought or sold, driving the price up or down, he rarely resorted to the direct approach. One of his tricks was to hurry through an exclusive club near Wall Street, obviously on his way to the stock exchange, and to pull his red bandana out of his pocket to wipe his perspiring brow. A slip of paper would fall from this bandana that he would pretend not to notice. The club members were always trying to foresee Drew's moves, and they would pounce on the paper, which invariably seemed to contain an inside tip on a stock. Word would spread, and members would buy or sell the stock in droves, playing perfectly into Drew's hands. Everything depends on the sweetness of your bait. You must lay an irresistible trap. If your trap is attractive enough, the upheaval of your enemy's emotions and desires will blind them to reality. The greedier they become, the more they can be led around. A commonly used trap is called the honey pot, and involves the use of romantic or sexual relationships as bait. The name comes from the past when hunters trapped bears using honey. This was very effective because, of course, bears go crazy for honey. Bait your enemy with something he desires. The stronger his desire, the greater the trap. The key here is to understand your opponent. Ask yourself, what would be irresistible bait for him? What are his weaknesses? What emotions does he have a hard time controlling? What vices does he enjoy? What are his primary motivations? You need to match the bait to the person you are trying to trap. So it's critical to know your opponent. As Sun Tzu said in The Art of War, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. This principle, properly applied, is at the essence of all war strategy. If you can get other people to dig their own graves, why sweat yourself? Pickpockets work this to perfection. The key to picking a pocket is knowing which pocket contains the wallet. Experienced pickpockets often work where there is a clearly marked sign reading, "Beware of pickpockets." Passers-by seeing the sign invariably feel for their wallet, to make sure it is still there. For the watching pickpockets, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. Pickpockets have even been known to place their own "Beware of Pickpockets" signs, to ensure their success. The reversal. Although it is generally the wiser policy to make others exhaust themselves chasing you, there are certainly times when it is best to strike with a sudden bold move. There is a time to force the issue, to take the lead and go after your opponent. Striking with sudden aggression at the enemy can intimidate, terrify, and demoralize him. Fast, sudden attack is an effective weapon, for it forces the other person to react without time to think or plan. Although this tactic is the opposite of waiting and baiting, it serves the same function, that is, you make your enemy respond on your terms. You must choose your tactics depending on the situation. If you have time on your side, and know that you and your enemies are at least of equal strength, then deplete their strength by making them come to you. If time is against you, if your enemies are weaker than you, and waiting will only give them a chance to recover, then don't give them that chance. In that case, to quote Sun Tzu, let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. Strike quickly and they have nowhere to go. As heavyweight champion Joe Louis said, he can run, but he can't hide.